bring in former prosecutor Katie Phang on this. Katie, thanks very much for joining us. Your reaction to this private meeting?
You know, wouldn't you want to be a fly on the wall between that conversation between former President Bill Clinton when he got home and Hillary Clinton, who says, "What were you thinking?" Clinton finds out that Loretta Lynch is arriving at the airport. He intentionally waits for her, and according to Lynch, there was nothing discussed. But really, guys, you have to avoid the appearance of impropriety, especially when you are the Attorney General of the United States. You are the head of the DOJ, which is ultimately going to decide whether Hillary Clinton did something wrong vis-a-vis the email scandal.
So it's highly inappropriate at a minimum.
At a minimum, there are rules that govern us as lawyers. We have rules of professional conduct, and especially when you're a prosecutor, you have to be very careful about giving the appearance that you're doing something untoward when it comes to an active investigation.
One of the initial reports, Katie, was that it wasn't like a wave on the tarmac, like, hey, how your grandkids doing? It was a 30-minute meeting or conversation. 30 minutes? I don't even talk to my mother that long on the phone. I thought that, what did they talk about more than grandkids?
Don't say that on national television. You
no,
love
I love my mother, but we both have a very, very low tolerance.
No, but you make a really important point here, Dagan. 30-minute
30
meeting.
minutes. That was according to one of the reports.
Yeah. So, Katie, what should be done here? What are the? I mean, who's accountable here?
Well, Senator John Cornyn has been asking for months for a special prosecutor or special counsel to be appointed to be able to make the ultimate decision in terms of whether or not she's going to have, she being Hillary Clinton's going to have any type of, facing type of recourse for what happened with the email scandal. And it's the right thing to do. If you do not remove the idea that there's some type of partiality going on, then you've got to be able to fix it. And how do you remedy this? 30-minute conversation about grandchildren and golf?
I mean,
I doubt it. And do you guys really think it's a coincidence?
Look, the
Benghazi report comes out?
The bottom line question, Katie, should Loretta Lynch be removed from this investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's beyond that, Maria. It's not even should she be removed. She should remove herself. We have to self-govern as lawyers. Absolutely.
So let's just say this wasn't Bill Clinton and this was another typical case. What would happen if this weren't Bill and Hillary Clinton?
Right.
What would we expect?
What is the answer, Katie?
The rules still govern. You don't get special treatment because you are Bill Clinton, but let's be honest, there was special treatment in this case. So because of that, exercise some professional judgment, self-govern, remove yourself if you're Loretta Lynch so that nobody can question the ultimate results.
Yep.
Katie, why do you think there's no special prosecutor in this case? Why hasn't the government done what has traditionally been done in other issues like this, where they just hire an independent special prosecutor to work on this?
Well, it's like handing the keys to the prison to the inmates, right? The DOJ itself, John Cornyn asked Loretta Lynch to make sure that a special prosecutor is appointed. As the procedures go, it's the DOJ that decides whether or not a special prosecutor gets installed to be able to do this. So really, it's not going to end up happening in that regard.
It's just unbelievable that this would be allowed, and there's no accountability whatsoever.
See, I think that's really important what Katie is saying, because there used to be an independent judiciary, 3 judges that would make a decision on a special counsel. And what Katie is saying is they eliminated that. It gives them more imperial power. So it's a little frustrating when you're thinking about the separation of powers, Maria, in terms of the protecting of the people.
Yeah. Go ahead, Katie.
Well, that's exactly the point. If you think about it, what happened to the separation of powers? If you don't allow for somebody else, like the judiciary, to decide whether a special prosecutor would be appropriate. But listen, that word special prosecutor, that's got a lot of import in the Clinton household, don't you think, with the Ken Starr situation with Bill Clinton? Nobody wants that to happen in Clinton's backyard anymore. So ultimately, I think you're going to get a result, and there's going to be such criticism. Why not eliminate that? Why not eliminate that point of issue or that point of debate if you're Loretta Lynch?
You know, every time Hillary Clinton starts to make progress, there's something optic-wise that happens that's just going to bring into the people's minds that she's untrustworthy. And I don't know how Bill Clinton, who is really a good politician, could be this out of touch to think that this was okay.
Well, I can answer that, I think, and Katie can speak to this as well. It seems like if you talk to people who are loyalists of the Clintons and who have been around them for years, they don't really see why the American people thinks that she's not trustworthy. They can't really see that. They don't know, and they think that it's, again, a vast right-wing conspiracy.
It's a witch hunt.
They do.
Right. I think that gets to the point. It's like, what do you mean? What's wrong with me talking with
Nothing
Loretta?
to see here.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's Huma Abedin. Let's talk about this, Katie, because she was deposed in Judicial Watch's suit against the State Department. She said that Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server caused problems, including missing an important meeting. How crucial will this testimony be, in your opinion? Could it be used in the FBI investigation?
Any sworn testimony, or frankly, any testimony that's provided, sworn or otherwise, can be used during an active criminal investigation. The fact that it's Huma Abedin, nobody is going to dispute that she is about as close as it gets to Hillary Clinton. So in light of these admissions, you know, Huma Abedin also testified in her deposition. Well, what's the big deal? Everybody knew at the department that she was using the server. Well, no, nobody knew she was using this particular server. And the fact that they're trying to hide behind the, well, it was open and obvious, so you really shouldn't be that concerned, that is not an excuse, and that is not a defense.
Yeah.
Huma Abedin, one of the issues that she raised in the deposition was that there was an email about a meeting that went into her spam folder. And so they didn't even know about, Abedin and Hillary Clinton didn't even know about the meeting, and there was discussion. And Huma, which we already know, Huma Abedin, because this came out, I think, in the Inspector General's report, in an email said to Hillary Clinton at the time, maybe you need to get a State Department device so you have direct access, like a State Department email address and device. And Hillary Clinton said, no, 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 I'm not going to allow them to have access to my personal email or personal conversation.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
And that was the reason that that's the reason she had a private.
Right. It wasn't convenience, because it wasn't convenient. It was frankly inconvenient and got in the way of her doing official business. It was about protecting whatever private correspondence that she was having.
Yeah.
That's why the foundation issue is so important in this election, because what was she talking about personally, and was it foundation related while she was Secretary of State? I think that's a legitimate question for the American people to know the answer to.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think the whole thing about all this backroom collusion and all of this is in the minds of a lot of American voters, and I think this is going to be almost impossible for her to overcome, because one thing after another keeps coming up that suggests that she's a typical politician who's not on the side of the American people.
Yeah, but Dagan's right. Her supporters don't care.
Well, that's her supporters, but a lot a lot of people here are undecided.
Right.
Yeah, look at those
independents.
independents.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Despite all of his issues.
Yeah, absolutely right. Katie, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always. Thanks, guys.